All right, guys, I want you to watch me hitting here, and I want you to watch Tommy Fleetwood. And I want you to see what you see the same in our swings. Obviously, it's not the long flowing hair, it's not the Ryder Cups, the PGA Tour wins, but we have something very similar in our swing. I want you to see if you see it. And in today's video, I'm going to show you what that is, right? You should be seeing that visual there. How you can do in your swing, why it's so important. It's something, a drill that I actually learned during my first ever golf lesson that helped me so much. I'm going to show you how to do that, how I've adapted that drill over the past like 20 years of coaching, and how you can use our Swing Coach app to make sure you're doing that all correctly. All right, so if you saw those images on there, obviously Tommy Fleetwood and myself, you see the little swing tracer, right? You see that little loop. And so with Tommy and with my swing, you'll notice that the downswing, the club comes more from inside relative to the backswing. Said different, right? The downswing is more underneath, lower than the backswing plane. And when I went, if we kind of flash back to 2004-ish, I was a freshman in high school, going into high school, and I got my first ever golf lesson. And I was really surprised after we went inside, he filmed my swing. I looked at it on video for the first time, and I saw what I see a lot of my students that struggle. I saw the same thing. Instead of seeing the downswing underneath or more from inside of the backswing, I saw the opposite. And I couldn't believe it. I went back underneath, let's say too far inside, and then I came down way over my backswing plane, right? We'll see that on the screen. And the gentleman looked at me and he's like, do you see the issue here? And I saw it right away, right? It really took me back. And then he proceeded to show me probably 20 pros, and every single one of them had the same thing. They went back relatively on or outside the plane, and then they came down underneath it. And I got his point pretty quickly. And we went back outside to try and implement that in my swing. He showed me what I think is maybe like the weirdest golf drill ever created. But man, when I did it, those first couple of golf shots, I hit the ball really solid for like the first time in my life. I want to show you exactly what that drill is next. Okay, so when we went back outside, he said, Eric, look, I want to show you this, what he called figure eight drill. Figure eight drill. Okay, hold the club up level to the ground. I've got an 8-iron. He said, I want you to imagine there's like a tabletop, right? You're holding that here on top of a table. He said, I want you to make the swing, and I want you to get the club head to go above the table. We can probably draw a line on the screen here. Go above the table on the way back, then go below the table on the way down, and back above the table on the way through. Okay, so I'm standing there, right? My normal golf swing feels like I'm on plane, but I'm going under to over. And he said, man, for you to get just right up and down that line, he said, for you to get there, this is what you're gonna need to feel. Over, under, over. And so I did this a couple times, level to the ground. Over, under, over. He said, why don't you keep doing a continuous motion and make it like the full figure out? Maybe we'll put that on the screen here. Kind of tracing my club head. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. One more time. Over, under, over, under. And I stood there and did that for probably like 10 minutes. In my mind, I did one or two. I'm like, all right, good, let's try with the ball. Right, let's get in with the ball. He's like, no, 10 minutes of that. So I stood there. It was at Southmore Golf Course. Over, right, under. I'm hoping nobody's watching me. Over, under. He said, okay, I think you're kind of getting the point here. He said, well, how do we take that and get down to the ball? He said, we'll go from level to the ground, and now let's bring it down about 45 degrees, about half the distance from the ground. And I said, let me guess, Jim was his name, Mr. Jim I called him. I'm gonna probably feel the same thing here, huh? Right, I'm gonna go over, under. He said, you got it, over. So now imagine the tabletop's like my club head down there. Let's draw that line. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Add some speed. Over, under, over, under, right? So I did that same thing here. He said, okay, let's take it to about just above the golf ball. So I'm getting closer to the ground now. You guessed it, same thing. Over, under, over, under. And I bet I did that drill for 15 minutes before we hit a ball. But then eventually we tried it with a ball. He said, all right, before we do anything else, feel the same thing. Over, under, over, under. I'll show you how to bring this to the ground with the drill next, but feel the same thing. And I did, drill still works. I did what I just did right there. Mary can attest to it. That's an 8-iron, perfect high draw right at my target. And I hit the ball so solid on that first swing. I'll never forget it. You know when you find a feel and you're kind of testing something out and you hit it so freaking good? It's like, oh my gosh, I was like reborn. I've never hit a ball that solid, it felt like, in my whole life. I've really compressed it. And I remember doing that drill and I felt like I swung like this, right? I felt like I was like Jim Furyk. And I looked back at him and he was standing back there just kind of smirking. He was recording it and we went back and looked at it from down the line and guess what it looked like? Tiger Woods 97 2000, baby. I felt like I was doing a figure 8 and we recorded on video. And this is why I want you to use a swing coach, because you got to have feedback. And it went right up the plane, right down the plane. And that feeling I had that day, I've still never had. How shocking that was to me, how different my swing felt compared to what it looked like and how effective it was. This was my primary swing thought for like 3 or 4 years. Get the club back on plane, get it underneath it. Get it back on plane so I have room to get it underneath it. If you see that Tommy swing tracer, that's what we're trying to replicate. Back on plane and then underneath it. And I just kept hitting like those really solid high draw 8-irons. When I had my over plane, maybe you can relate with this, I would hit shots where I would go back under and come over. It looked probably more like this. See if I can still do it. And I would hit shot was even more solid than I'd hit it. Bad contact, no distance, no nothing. Pulls and fades, right? When I used to do the old way, I would go under, over, and then really hold the club face off. He said, Eric, when you do this, go above, under, and as I'm going above on the way through, don't be shy about letting that toe pass the heel. Don't be shy about closing the face a little. Above, under, over, under, over. Now notice as I'm doing this also when I go back, he said, Eric, I don't want you to go above or over by pushing your hands way out. I want the hands to trace pretty much straight back, but the club head itself stays out. That was a big change for me. Hands are pretty level, club head goes above. I said, well, Jim, how do I get it underneath here? He said, now you can let your arms and club drop, under, over. So it's hands more level, club above. Let the arms, hands, club go down and drop, under, over. I'm letting the toe pass the heel. If I overdo this, when you try this, you're going to overdraw it, which is a good thing for most of us. Same feels, over, under. Now, what's the point? Why are we going over on the way back? It's to give us room and set up going under on the way down. If we make a backswing and we go way under, now what? I don't have any room to go under more. I'm going to come over. So the backswing, I'm not going hands out with the club. My hands are going to trace pretty much straight back, but the club goes out, over. Now the arms and club drop, under. Arms, hands, club go, over. Over, under, over. Now little did I know, which is funny, standing on that range, that only about 4 years after I got that lesson, I would be teaching golf myself. And since I started teaching golf, I've been using this drill for that period of time, right? Almost 20 years. Okay, so since I started teaching golf, I've adapted this drill. You'll see I've got the phone back there. The Swing Coach app is on, but you'll see the sticks in the ground right next to them. And this is the drill I've adapted to kind of take this figure 8, which I love, and give someone a simple, kind of easy way to get a visual for where the club should be in space. Remember, our net goal here always is to draw the line up the shaft that's set up and get the club head riding pretty close to that on the way back and pretty close to that on the way down. This is just a vehicle to do it. Sticks on the ground here. If the golf ball's 12, 1, 2, this blue and white stick's about 3 o'clock. That's just in front of my toe line. I put this out, which isn't really there, but I kind of call this the 2 o'clock stick, and this one's the 4 o'clock stick. Okay, so I've got a little triangle over here, zone 1, triangle over here, zone 2. Here's what I want you to do. If I took this same drill, tabletop, and I went over, under, right? Or even just over, under, and I brought that down, over, under, and I brought that down, over, under, and I brought it to the golf ball. Now, when I look down from my point of view, and this is what happened when you do it, the over part gets the club head from my view in zone 1, which puts the shaft pretty close to right in the middle of the 2 o'clock and the 3 o'clock. Now notice as I do that, I don't want my hands going way out with it. Eric, should my hands go out to 2? No. My hands should go basically straight back. The club head is out over 2. As I bring it down then, I want the club head in zone 2, which is this zone. Hopefully that's not confusing. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, zone 1, zone 2, what the heck's this guy doing? Zone 1, zone 2. Backswing, zone 1. Downswing, zone 2. Backswing, zone 1. Hands are not out. Downswing, zone 2. How do I go from the top of my swing to down here? The arms and club drop, okay? When I make a real swing, you'll see with myself and Tommy on there, Rory with the Swing Coach app, all we're really trying to do is get the club on or just outside that 3 o'clock on the way back, and on or just inside the 3 o'clock on the way down. Say that with me. On or just outside 3 on the way back, on or just inside 3 on the way down. So as we're practicing, this is good for all clubs. I'm feeling this, zone 1, zone 2, over, under, over. My hands, and these are all just like, I mean, you can see the shot trace, but you kind of take my word for it. These are all like 5 to 10 yard draws, my 8-iron. We got a little wind right to left as well. But what we're going for is really solid contact. The ball starting a little right of the target and coming back. Tabletop. Hands go level, but the club's above. How do I actually get in the club above when I go back? I'm not having a lot of arm rotation. So if I did it this way, my glove logo feels like it still kind of stays pointing towards the target. Not a lot of arm rotation with a little vertical hinge. How do I get the club to zone 1? Hand straight back, not a lot of arm rotation, little bit of a hinge. How do I get the club down to zone 2? Let the arms and club fall. Club head's just inside the hands. Zone 1, zone 2. Over, under, over. Now the good news here is not only does this drill work really good with the irons, it works great with the driver. In fact, I'll recommend a video at the end we did with a student showing him this drill, crushed his driver, gained a lot of yardage. You're gonna do the same. Same feels, level to the ground, over, under, over. Now notice as I'm doing this, I'm feeling primarily my arms and hands, but as the clubs get longer, I wanna turn a little body with it. So over, under, over. Hands are level to the ground, the club's above, arms and hands drop, arms and hands raise. As I'm coming through, I'm not being shy about letting the club face close over a little bit. Now, as my clubs get longer and I feel my arms and hands moving, I just add a little body turn with it. As my club goes over then under, my chest goes with it. Chest back over, under, chest through over. So I'm just adding a little turn with it. Over, under with a little turn, halfway down, little turn, just above the ball. And this won't be perfect with the driver setup, but you get the picture. Over, under, turn my chest back, turn my chest through. The club and shaft should feel lighter when you do this, more effortless power on the way down, higher, farther, more draw bias. Over, under, over, under. That is as good, Mary, as I could hit a golf ball. Okay, just a quick heads up as always, anytime you're getting the club to swing more from inside, you have to make sure you're closing the club face along with it. Whether you do that with the toe passing the heel like I mentioned, stronger grip, close the swing, do whatever you want to do, but you got to make sure you close the club face along with it. Okay, last thing for me here today, as we're doing this, obviously you saw some of the Swing Coach along with it. I've got my phone on there, and literally what this is doing for me is giving me the same feedback I got from that pro for the first time. Automatic feedback after every single swing tells you what you need to work on, when to do it, if you need more or less. It's unbelievable. What I'm trying to do on the Swing Coach app, you'll see with me and Rory, if I get to me and Rory, not a lot in common, but swing-wise, if I get the club in this zone slightly outside on the way back, and then on or just under on the way down is what we're looking for. Same feels, Swing Coach app on, drill station at the bottom, zone 1, zone 2. And if you do that right, you should get a lot more shots like that, solid high draws. All right, guys, so give that Swing Coach app a try. I'm telling you, you're absolutely gonna love it. You got nothing to lose, I promise. It's gonna be the best thing you ever did. I'm also gonna put a card on the screen over here of a lesson I did this drill with the gentleman with his driver inside. If you want more on how to applicate or apply this drill, you're gonna love that one. Any questions, as always, leave me a comment down below. If you wanna watch more like this, check out this video next.